It's time for a Miles Morales original, you know?
Miles, take that shit off. Spider-Man 2 comes out with a fantastic reception. And reception. Obviously, many are calling this game of the year as the game came out with amazing mechanics, a solid story, and incredible visuals. It is the hot PlayStation game. But some people are feeling sour, cherry picking any minor non-detailed part of the game which just makes no sense. I'm literally Spider-Man swinging so fast, I'm not going to care about this one soda can that has less polygons, which I passed by in literally a millisecond, if not faster than that. But this blind hate for the game doesn't stop it from being actually criticized, and I, for one, have a few I want to make. The previous Spider-Man games are fun as hell. The swinging, the combat, and you literally get to be Spider-Man. It's the best. But there are some crucial aspects of the game that could feel flat. One is the open world. Obviously, it has to focus on Spider-Man-like gameplay and generate this whole map very quickly. So it's fair that you can't walk into some random interior or anything like that when walking around New York. But after beating the main story, the world doesn't have much to offer. At the very least, you can still stop crimes, retry bases, and retry challenges. The open world is not so open world, but it works this way for the main point of the game, including Miles' game. You're Spider-Man. Another thing was the breaks from being Spider-Man, which just completely slows down the game. You play as MJ for stealth missions, and Miles too, but only thrice. But man, the first MJ mission is just a complete waste of time. It's only until the last mission you play that it gets interesting, but still feels limited. Final thing is the combat. Yes, I said combat is fun, but when it comes to the points of waiting for the gadgets to refill or changing them out, it gets annoying. Even when you have perks where your gadgets refill faster, it still takes too damn long. I get these gadgets are automatic win buttons, but I'm f***ing Spider-Man. A Spider-Man who's been active for almost a decade. What do you mean all he has is a rank punch and basic webs at the beginning of the game? Anyways, with Spider-Man 2, it's gonna be awesome to play as both Peter and Miles. I enjoy both of their games. I wonder what big adventure they have in store. Okay, intro, perfect. Peter and Miles are both actively involved. The rest of the game? I get that part of the story is Peter ignoring Miles and the symbiote wants to take care of everything themselves, but it makes the game actively ignore Miles. There's plenty of side content for Miles, but that's the thing. They are side content missions. I want him to be part of the main story, but it feels like the writers forgot the arc that he went through in his own game. Miles learns how to be a hero, or more specifically Spider-Man, his own way. Be yourself. But the writers backtrack on it by making Miles focus on Spider-Man and doesn't know who he is because he is facing, and that is making him lonely. I will be fine with him just being afraid of not protecting his family because Mr. Negative is on the loose, but he is not even on the loose. Lee isn't on a rampage through New York, he's just chilling in Craven's crib, and most importantly, Miles already knows who he himself is. We went through it in the last game. He doesn't need a Miles Morales original. He already made his own suit in the last game, where he expresses to be himself, but still be Spider-Man. Take that shit off. As for Peter, his arc is that he has been doing the superhero job for a long time now. He is tired. This is only the second game, and we already gained a tired Spider-Man.
I am so tired.
But with the symbiote taking over Peter, it forces him to think that is what he needs to finally stop the vicious cycle of being a superhero. Of course, that isn't him, but in the end, he wants to be Peter Parker for a while. Balance. That's his arc. Balance. He also goes through one of the most heartbreaking friendships with Harry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Give Yuri his flowers. I actually like Peter's arc here. It seemed natural in the story progression from the first game. Though from a game standpoint, it's kind of like a rush, like, oh, we barely experienced his life as Spider-Man and he's already tired and he wants to take a break. I mean, like, it's fair that he wants to take a break from the superhero stuff, but from a game standpoint, this is all going a bit too fast. I'm glad we get to see the symbiotes reveal a character's deepest feelings, and it helps Peter realize balance, along with MJ. Speaking of MJ, her missions improved a lot. They actually feel like missions this time. Oh, and there's also a Haley mission you could do, which I found charming. She's great. With the overall story, Kraven and Venom are solid villains, though Venom's screen time just feels short, much like Doc Ock's. There's a hint of Venom possibly returning for a spin-off. Not official, but if it is, I would very much like that. Though I don't know how they would set it up because Venom is supposed to be dead. I think. There's still symbiote monsters roaming around after you beat the game. There's also a setup for Carnage from the Flame story, so that's exciting as well. I love the story here. I love the progression of characters, except Miles. The villains are amazing, there are great side missions, and there's a cooler setup for future stories. I just wish Peter's and Miles' stories overlap more. It basically starts with Peter trying to help Miles write his essay, and in the end, we don't even really hear it, nor do we see Peter read it at the least. There isn't a payoff, and if they're saying reconciling with Lee is a payoff, that's boring, I'm sorry. As I mentioned earlier, MJ's missions are not boring anymore. So, for the actual game, I first noticed they changed the gadget system from the trailers, which will serve to be more convenient than the wheel. I just hope there will be more gadgets to play with. Why? Okay, so there are less gadgets in this game, and they aren't fun. There's Web Grabber, which essentially replaces trip mines and impacts. This is lame. Sure, it sets up an ability to use, and we'll get to that, but it doesn't do much unless you fully upgrade it, but that takes time, and only adds shock and debris to it. Ricochet replaces web bombs, and it sucks, cause now it takes a little more time to web up enemies. Lifter, I think is what it's called, and we'll just go with that, which replaces the gravity gadget, only now doesn't hold enemies in the air for a good bit. The concussive bursts return and upgraded to sound bursts for the symbiotes, but it's not as fun without the knockback really. They basically took out all the fun from the previous gadgets and replaced them with lame ones. So I'm still stuck with a rank punch and basic webs, cause they don't refill any faster. Oh, but wait, both Spider-Man have special abilities. These are actually fun to use with Peter's arms and Venom abilities along with Miles's Venom abilities? Huh, they don't really call that out. Probably would have made a good quip. But I still wish the gadgets were fun to use. Helpful at times, sure, but lame compared to previous gadgets. Also, the Mega abilities are gone from the first game, but in replacement are Peter's Symbiote Berserk and Miles' Venom Blast, which I find to be more effective and more fun to use. That goes for both of them. Especially when Miles' Venom abilities no longer require focus bars, which I'm thankful for. That was a dumb choice in this game. Overall, cool additions, but also took away some other fun stuff. There is a new mechanic, pairing. Oh my god, did it piss me off. It's so forgettable as a mechanic that I can never do it perfectly, or just dodge but still get hurt. Yes, that is a me problem. Another me problem, I hate the new healing system. It now requires you to get a full bar of focus before you can heal. Overwhelmed with enemies? Start over! Though I can't confirm, I believe it was to flaunt the battle damage visual, which, if that's the case, that's dumb, let me heal. Then there's another hero helping you out. Sometimes. Like I said, Peter's and Miles' stories barely overlap, so they don't fight together often, mainly with stopping crimes, but those aren't required anymore for completion, so why bother? There is Harry for like 2 missions, and there is Wraith for just a side story. Yuri's back and she's great. They're helpful, somewhat. They just aren't prominent enough to make me say something. Yeah, the combat is solid, but still has strange changes that irks me. There are the usual challenges, bases, side missions, friendly neighborhood requests, collectibles, science stuff, and pictures. All of the side missions / side stories are very much improved from the last 2 games. Little more depth and are more entertaining. I cried a couple of times.
Oh, hey, Spider-Man.
Hey, sorry. Friend of mine.
Take all the time you need. If it helps, it looked like he was at peace.
He was. He's finally on that adventure with his wife.
Though a lot more side stories are meant for Miles, which further proves the point that he is overshadowed by Peter's story. Whatever at this point. But as for the stuff you can do... What the f*** happen. Challenges are exclusive to Miles, which are the Mysteriums. All of them are combat challenges and with strict requirements. I mean, come on, there could have been like, I don't know, challenges for evolving the wing suits. Come on. Sure, it's easier when you're maxed out, but I'm playing these throughout the main game. It's a me problem. Science stuff is exclusive to Peter, which is fair, but these feel less fun than the experience in the first game. Besides the bike one, these are boring. Especially when you're doing the new puzzles. Oh my god, these are excruciating. For the seed ones, there aren't hints on how to complete them. You're basically winging it and it just takes so long. The chemical ones, my depth of perception is annoying. Moving on, the bases. There are only hunter bases.
Keep it a stack, bitches move on cause they know I got beans. They be chatting, I don't give a damn and I'm still getting money, I know who I am.
With there being two types. The blinds and the actual bases. They're really easy considering there are no waves, so you can just play as Miles who stealths throughout easily. Collectibles. It's just Marco's crystals and spider bots. Not much to say, but they are new stuff, so I'm happy about that. But the bots were frustrating to collect cause they don't appear on the map. Why? Oh, and there's also tech parts, but those don't appear on the map and they're not required for completion. They're just there to help you out get tech parts if you don't want to do like a mission or anything. Pictures. Still really the same thing, but that's fair. With all of that said, I hate the new map progression. Instead of towers, you just go around the map and stuff will be highlighted. It's weird because at the beginning it seems the game was setting up the drones to highlight stuff, but no. The reason I hate going around the map and stuff will be highlighted is because I want to do like the side stuff too, but I can't see them until I swing around them. I'm basically winging it. I just want to see everything that I can do, you know? Sure, they're all fun stuff, so let's see what I can do afterwards. What? All you can replay are the Mysteriums, which are exclusive to Miles. You can't retry the bases. The science stuff are a one-time thing, but that's fair considering what the missions are. You can't replay any of the past missions. There's no New Game Plus. Also, when you finish the story, you can't switch to Peter until after you finish all of Miles' missions, leaving just a dead open world to do like the last two games. Yeah, despite all of my criticisms and nitpicks, this game is mind-blowing every second, from the visuals, story, and combat. It's amazing and fun. Many of the complaints have been reduced to forced glitches, and it's annoying to see. Of course, there's some actual stuff that could have been better, but damn it, I still love the game. It's Game of the Year potential. I just need to know why they gave Miles a suit, like what? Can we get Adidas out of here?